So you're thinking about making a move to Lake Keowee. In this video, we will review everything you need to know about South Carolina taxes before you make a move. So let's talk about South Carolina's income tax system. It's actually pretty straightforward. You know how the federal income tax works. Well, South Carolina follows along those lines. Whatever adjustments, exemptions, and deductions you claim on your federal return, you can pretty much do the same in South Carolina with just a few tweaks. So when you're figuring out your state income tax, you start with your federal taxable income. Now, when it comes to how much you're going to pay, it ranges from zilch to 7% depending on your taxable income. And hey, those tax brackets get a little nudge each year to keep up with inflation. If you want to dig deeper into the deductions and credits you might be eligible for in South Carolina, just hit me up. I'll shoot you a link where you can grab all that. What happens if you move to South Carolina in the middle of the year? In that case, you're considered a part-year resident. Now, here's the thing. As a part-year resident, you've got options when it comes to filing your taxes. You can either file your taxes as a full-year resident or as a non-resident. If you go with the resident route, it means you'll report all your income just like you've been a resident for the whole year and get a credit for any taxes paid in another state. But if you choose to file as a non-resident, you'll only need to report the income you earned in South Carolina. Now, here's where it gets a bit technical. Your deductions and exemptions will be adjusted based on your percentage of your income that comes from South Carolina compared to your total income. But hey, you get to pick the method that works best for you. You might be asking, how is my property tax calculated in South Carolina? Basically, counties, cities, and school districts can slap on these ad valorem taxes onto your real and personal property. Most of the time, it's your local government that handles assessments and collecting property taxes. And guess what? It's what keeps our public schools and services going. When it comes to your home sweet home, the county keeps an eye on its market value, pegging it at 4% for tax purposes. They do this by checking in periodically with the reassessment across the area. Then they slap on a millage rate, which is basically the local government's way of saying, here's what you owe in taxes. And yeah, that rate varies depending on where you are in the state. If you're living in your own cozy nest, your property tax gets a break on school taxes. All you got to do is prove it's your primary residence by swinging by the county assessor's office and filling out an application. Make sure to bring along your South Carolina driver's license and vehicle registration just to show you're the real deal. Now, if you're a little older and wiser or maybe just a bit more seasoned, South Carolina gives you a break. If you're 65 or older, legally blind, and permanently disabled, and have been chilling in the state for a year, you can shave off $50,000 of your home's value for tax purposes. Just remember you have to apply for that deal. But wait, there's a catch. If you've got a second property for those weekend getaways or summer retreats, it's not going to get the same love as your primary residence. The assessment ratio is bumped up to 6%, and there's no school exemption for that property. Keep in mind that with that being said, South Carolina property taxes are still some of the lowest in the nation. So in South Carolina, the basic state sales and use tax rate is 6%. And in some counties, they tack on additional taxes on top of that 6%. And what do they use all of the local sales and use tax money for? Well, it goes towards things like school projects, fixing up roads, big capital projects, and other stuff like that. Now, here's some good news. If you're buying prescription meds, dental stuff, or even using electricity, natural gas, or fuel oil for your home, you won't have to worry about paying state and local sales and use taxes on those. Oh, and if you're thinking about splurging on a new ride, whether it's a car, boat, RV, or even an airplane, just know there's a cap of $500 on sales tax for those purchases. Not least, South Carolina doesn't slap you with an estate tax or gift tax. So there you have it. When you think about how South Carolina boasts some of the lowest property taxes nationwide, and the cost of living here is a whopping 11.5% lower than the national average, it's no wonder why South Carolina has been ranked the #1 state for people moving in compared to those moving out. If you're curious about anything or need assistance planning or exploration of the area, feel free to reach out, give me a call, shoot me a text, drop me an email. I'm here to help.